It's 6:30 showtime. I'm Frances Finn, your hostess your hostess, and I'll be guiding you through the next half hour of Nottinghamshire chat with two local starlets coming up tonight. Leaving a towel on a sun lounger to reserve your place. We've all done it. Well, don't if you're going to one Spanish resort. You'll get a hefty fine. We'll see what our very own beach lovers make of that. Now, hands up, who's watching MasterChef?
Me.
Isn't it great seeing a Nottingham man doing so well in it? Clifton's very own Pete Hewitt is in the semi-finals. He's flying high. Let's give him the proper MasterChef treatment. Right, here we go. In the only way the show's producers have thought of to introduce the contestants or critics, Pete Hewitt is walking in slow motion towards our cameras. Walking doesn't get tougher than this. Hello, it's Channel 8 debate time. Time to get off the fence and say what you think about the issues of the week. I'm Frances Finn, and as always, this week's opinions come from four Nottinghamshire natterers. Way back into last year, apparently the whips were saying to MPs, you go home on a Thursday and a Friday, you get stuck into your constituencies and make sure you win your seat for the next term. Now, I don't know how you feel about that, David, as someone who has to campaign in your own time, but Ken and Chris are being financed by our taxes to go home, swan about, knocking on doors. You remember that, Ken, 1970-ish. How comfortable are you with that?
Well, I think that's slightly absurd because nowadays an MP works both in his constituency and in London. So, in fact,
I have a costume just for you.
Ta-da! A slapper. I mean a flapper. Beautiful. Hello, possums. Dame Edna? No.
Oh, look at this. Won't be needing that. These aren't popular because you can't get as good a selfie with a black cat as you can one with a pattern. Come on then, let's have one. I think that's rather marvellous. Yeah. Well, this is the usual shape coffin you'd expect to see. But say I wanted a wow factor when I have my final send-off. If I want an unusual shaped coffin, George is my man. He can make you anything, can't he, George?
I can indeed.
Yeah. George? George? Has he gone home? Anyone? So, I can understand the appeal of an electric car, but behind us there's a photo of you unwrapping a blender. I mean, your heart must have sank when you saw that. Four blokes in a house on your own. What do you blend?
I don't know, we're all, I quite like cooking. I was a chef for a long time and Luke likes cooking.
I take it all back.
There you go. So some of the cooking products are actually some of our favourite things. But it was a good blend, so we got...
A good blend.
See what we did? So we got little half.
He's such a smoothie.
Anyone else?
Any more?
Should more men take their wives' surnames when they get married? I am asking you because it's in the news this week. There's been a really big reaction to an American actress called Zoe Saldana. No, I hadn't heard of her either. She got married and her husband took her surname, and lots of people reacting on social media. She says to them, why is it so surprising, shocking, eventful that a man would take his wife's surname? Men, you will not cease to exist by taking your partner's surname. On the contrary, you will be remembered as a man who stood by change.
Is it because she's more famous than him that he's taken her surname?
Well, I presume so. But, you know,
Sorry,
being serious about this, though, is this the last frontier of patriarchy in our Western culture that we need to conquer, ladies? We want equal pay, equal rights, but somehow as soon as we get married, that's it. Our former identity, our family's name doesn't matter anymore. It's all about the blokes.
I knew you were going to ask me this. And my wife will be watching, so I'm being slightly nervous about this.
Be careful how you answer, Simon. And I can sleep literally as soon as the bus pulls out of Kirkhallam.
You don't complain about being tired?
Not really.
Back to the more serious issue, Scott. Half of us, more than half, say we're cream crackered all of the time.
Yeah, and do you know what I think that is, though? I think it's the rise of social media. I think our brains are stimulated.
Always wanted one of these.
Husband, put the toilet seat down.
Hey, come on. So I think I've found the perfect gift. And on that bombshell, I'm off.